All right, we are about to dive into a simple little phrase that, believe it or not, might just unlock the deepest reason we get stuck, in our careers, our businesses, and just life. It's a phrase I guarantee you've heard before, but probably not like this. Yep, mind the gap. You've heard it, right? It's an instruction, it's a warning, and the second you hear it, you're immediately on alert. It forces you to pay super close attention to that space, that little bit of nothing right there in front of you. So its origin is, famously practical. The railway folks in London realized that even when a danger is staring you right in the face, like a big old gap, people still need to be told explicitly to notice it. Otherwise, they might fall right in. And that's a wild thought, isn't it? Even a clear and present danger needs a command before we actually see it. Okay, but what if this isn't just about trains and platforms? What if this simple phrase points to something much, much deeper? What if the real gap is something we're all facing every single day, and just like on the platform, we're just standing there, waiting for someone to tell us how to get across? And that right there brings us to the gaps in our own lives. Because let's be honest, we all have them. These spaces between where we are right now and where we desperately want to be. Maybe for you, that gap is the one between the job you have and the career you crave, one with more purpose. Or maybe it's the space between financial stress and a life that feels abundant and free. Whatever it is for you, we can all feel these gaps. We know they're there. And this is exactly where the problem starts. See, most of us, when we're staring across our own personal gap, we do the exact same thing as those travelers in the underground. We just stand on the platform and we wait. We wait for instructions, for a perfect map, for someone, anyone, to give us permission to move. So what's the fundamental difference between the people who cross their gaps and the ones who stay stuck forever? Well, it's not about intelligence, it's not about resources or money. It all comes down to one single powerful idea: authority. And even more importantly, who holds it? Right, so this whole authority problem basically creates two totally different ways of operating in the world. On one side, you've got dependent thinking, and on the other, something we'll call sovereign thinking. Okay, dependent thinking. This is the default mode for most of us. It's that conditioned reflex, the one where we automatically look outside of ourselves for the answers. We've been trained our whole lives by school, by society, to wait for the expert, for the boss, for someone to hand us the plan before we dare take a single step. So let's really break down the difference here. The dependent thinker, they're always waiting for permission. But the sovereign thinker, they grant their own permission. A dependent mind follows the blueprint to the letter. A sovereign mind trusts themselves enough to adjust that blueprint as they go. See the pattern? One seeks an external authority, while the other works to become the authority. Now, let's be super clear on one thing. This is not about rejecting mentorship or advice, not at all. It's about the difference between learning from someone and waiting for someone to tell you what to do. The distinction is absolutely critical. Learning from a mentor empowers you, but waiting for a guru to give you every single step, well, that just enslaves you. So how does this whole authority problem actually play out in the real world? Well, we see it all the time when people get hyper-focused on tactics, thinking that's where the real solution is hiding. We get stuck on these surface-level tactical questions, right? Things like, how do I get more clients? Or what's the perfect social media strategy? We convince ourselves the problem is just a lack of information, or maybe we just don't have the right technique yet. But here's the thing. The gap we think we see, that's not the real gap. The real question isn't tactical at all. It's about identity. The question isn't, what do I need to do to get more clients? It's, who do I need to become to get more clients? Because honestly, all the tactics in the world are useless if you don't have the identity to actually execute them. And this right here leads every single successful person, every entrepreneur who finally breaks through, to a moment of stark and, sometimes kind of terrifying realization. They finally realize, deep down, that no one is coming to save them. There's no perfect mentor waiting in the wings with a custom-made plan. No one is going to swoop in and just hand them the secret answer. The cavalry isn't coming. They realize they're on their own. And you might think that sounds like a moment of despair, but it's not. It's actually a moment of profound liberation. And that really gets to the core of it. Think about it. When a great strategy fails, it's almost never the strategy's fault. It's the dependent identity of the person trying to use it. It's someone who is still, on some level, waiting for validation. Someone who can't make a real decision without getting that external stamp of approval. So, the only way to truly bridge your gap is to change who's in charge. It's about finally minding your own gaps by claiming your sovereignty. The real solution here is what we call an identity shift. It's that internal transformation, moving away from that please just tell me what to do mindset and into the quiet, solid confidence of, you know what, I can figure this out. That one shift changes absolutely everything. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, a sovereign mind stops waiting for permission and just starts making decisions. It stops that endless search for the perfect strategy and starts implementing a strategy and then adjusting along the way. And maybe most importantly, it learns to trust its own judgment, even and especially when things feel uncertain. So let's bring this right back to you, right now. In your life, in your work, are you waiting for permission? Are you waiting for someone to give you the green light to take that next big step? Are you stuck in that cycle of endlessly researching, hunting for that one perfect blueprint from somebody else, the one that promises it'll solve everything, all while you're still just standing on the platform? Or are you ready to become the authority in your own life? Are you ready to stop waiting for the announcement, mind your own gap, trust your own footing, and just step across? Because when you boil it all down, that is the only question that really matters.